Hello there. So, you would like to know what it's like to retire early at age 50. You know, you might have some questions. Do you get bored? What do you do? How do you survive financially? Or is it the best thing you could ever do? Well, I tell you what, let's take a walk along the beach here at South Shields and have a chat. One of the things I absolutely love about being retired is being my own boss, being in control of my own time and be able to do whatever I want without having to ask permission from anybody. It's an absolutely unbelievable feeling. Like this morning, I woke up, thought, what am I going to do today? Tell you what, I'm going to go down to South Shields and walk 9 miles down the coast with me 3 dogs. Absolutely love it. So anyway, hello, my name is Eddie. If you're new here to the channel, this channel covers adventure and lifestyle, kind of trying to be the, tips and advice on how to be the best version of yourself and how to get the best out of life. So if that appeals to you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get a little bleep every time I release a new video. So you might be wondering, how on earth did I retire at 50 years old? I must be loaded of money to be able to do whatever I want. No, nothing could be further from the truth, so I have to get the context of this video and the things I want to talk about in the right place. I am not rich, certainly not financially. In fact, quite the opposite. But I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video of how do I cut my cloth and budget. But I am time rich. And I am able to, live a simple life and do the things that I want. So basically 7 years ago, age 50, after careers in the military and then as a police officer in the northeast and then in Cumbria, I retired. And there was one driving factor that brought me to the decision to retire at 50, because I could have done an extra 5 years, but I'll discuss that in a second. Now, not everybody can retire age 50. In my personal life circumstances, probably bears no resemblance to yours. Everybody is different and lives different lives, but I am going to talk about some common themes in this video which I think will resonate with most of you and give you pause for thought on the direction of your life and your future life planning. For example, you might be in a career and live an expensive lifestyle. For example, with a big expensive house, 1 or 2 expensive cars, expensive holidays, a couple of kids, that's going to cost you a fortune. And on the flip side, living below the poverty line and living hand to mouth every day. So I understand for some it's difficult, but hopefully this video and the things I'll talk about will give you cause to reflect. And of course, there'll be some of you out there who absolutely love your jobs or your careers. They do say that if you do a job that you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I think that's true. And you'll certainly have no rush to retire because it's your passion, it's your motivation, and good on you. Now, there's a common narrative in life that we are prepared to slog our guts out for 40, 45, even 50 years of our lives because we've bought into the idea collectively that at the end of that term, we'll qualify for a pension, we can retire, put our feet up, do all the things on our bucket list, lie by the pool, lie by the beach, or sit on the chair and read the newspaper or whatever. Well, that's a high risk strategy. It's a game of Russian roulette with your life because nobody knows what's going to happen in your life from this moment until this imaginary future where you have all these plans and ideas. Anything could happen, any illness or injury or disease or accident or death, a betrayal. You might split up from your partner, you might lose your house, could lose your job. Anything could happen, and you need to bear that in mind, I think. So I think what I'm trying to say is that the future only exists in your imagination. So if you invest yourself and are constantly wishing your life away and dreaming about this imaginary future, it could ultimately backfire on you. So there's a balance to be had about being in the present, about living in the moment to your fullest capacity, but also in your peripheral vision, perhaps, about something that might happen in the future. And if you're wondering, that lighthouse behind me is called Sutter Lighthouse. It's situated in a small community called Whitburn, which is in between South Shields and Sunderland, along this gorgeous stretch of the northeast coastline. And in a minute I'm going to head in for a brew and a sandwich. Another thing I wanted to point out is the lens that you may look at life through. If you were the sort of person that measures success based on perceived professional and financial status or wealth, the size of your house, the type of cars you got, the type of holidays you've got, not that there's anything wrong in any of those things, that's not what I'm saying, but if you measure yourself alongside other people, and that becomes the matrix in how you measure success in life, it's certainly not the matrix I follow in life, because you're likely going to be always chasing the next external thing to try and make you happy and content, and you're never going to get there. I like the simple things in life. I've got a minimalist outlook on life, a simplistic lifestyle. I just have a thirst for knowledge, I have a thirst for spending time with people I love being with, to learn new things, be creative, and to be out in the fresh air, and being in the present moment, here and now, and enjoying what I've got right in front of us. Anyway, enough of me waffling on. I'm going to have a brew. So after nearly 20 years as a police officer, and by leaving 5 years early, denying myself a huge chunk of a potential lump sum, why did I decide to finish age 50? Well, it's twofold really. Two big reasons. One was health, the other one was time. Health reasons, sometimes you just have to make a sacrifice in life for the benefit of your own health and well-being. It was killing us, man. Of course, I was diagnosed as being autistic age 54, 4 years after coming out of the police. I went through my whole career carrying a learning disability and trying to bluff my way through, not knowing what my problems were. And as time went on, certainly into my 40s, declining into and slipping into depression and anxiety, that horrible mix, that dark place. I had to get out. So sometimes you have to put your health before anything else in life, because without your health, you've got nothing. The other one was time. You know, time is finite in life. It's a non-renewable currency. The average life expectancy here in the UK is about 85-ish. You know, I've probably got less on average than 30 years left of my life. And you can always find other ways to make money, side hustles or second jobs or whatever, but you'll never get time back. And it'll finish at some point, at any moment. So, out of the time I've got left, barring any illness or injury, disease, accident or whatever, a third of what I've got left I'm going to be spending in bed asleep. So I'm acutely aware that I'll never get my 20s, 30s and 40s back. I'm 57 now. And I don't know how long I'm going to be fit and healthy for. So time is another big factor. Plus as well, in this imaginary future when you plan to retire, global events can get in the way as well. Look what happened with the COVID pandemic that hit us that we weren't expecting. But you know, in a year or two, it's entirely likely that as part of NATO, we could be dragged into a global conflict. And who knows what life is going to look like then. So, what does life look like now that I've retired? How do I survive financially? Well, it takes some sacrifices. You know, I only have my pension and some YouTube money, which can be a little bit inconsistent. But you've got to learn to cut your cloth with what you've got. For me, personally, I've done without a car now for 4 to 5 years for the first time in my life. They're a huge, expensive thing to run now. And if I'm honest, I haven't missed it since the day I give a car up. So I purposely plan to live next to our Tyne-and-Wear metro service so I can get the metro into town, which takes 10-15 minutes. And sometimes I cycle in, which is obviously good for your physical health and your mental health, getting out there and getting some fresh air. So then that leaves me free to be time rich, enjoy the simple things in life, have the time to learn these new skills, to be creative, to be a videographer, content creator, learn how to edit videos, put them together and run a little business on YouTube, which I thoroughly enjoy. And spending time with my dogs. And that's how I do it. And Have I got any regrets about retiring? Absolutely none. I absolutely love it. I can't believe how lucky I am to be in this situation. I highly recommend it, but with some caveats, as I've explained or tried to explain in the video. You need a purpose in life. You need something to give you some direction, a project, a hobby, even a part-time job, a side hustle, whatever it is. You need a purpose in life, but also as well you need to cut your cloth, downsize your life, because if you're not earning money, you're spending money. So if your pension isn't that great, it's going to quickly run out. And then you're going to find yourself in the unfortunate position of having to work, probably in a job you don't like, in order to pay the bills and survive. So that's my take on it. This is what life looks like being retired. Unbelievable. I hope you've got some use out of this, so you found it interesting. Let me know about your thoughts and experiences about your planned retirement, or if you're already retired. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. If you'd like me to do similar videos like this, perhaps drill into some of the things I've talked about in a bit more detail, let us know in the comments below. In particular, being a police officer, what's that like? And that's a story all in itself, I can tell you. But if you like the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And yeah, I'm in Sunderland now. I've finished my walk. I'm going to have another brew and get the metro back through to Gated. So I'll catch you next time.